I'm so sorry. All right, so let me share this on, I don't know. I'll share it afterwards. All right, let me switch that around. All right, so doing it a little, I just flipped it over and I can stitch this. Your big thing you want to be careful about is that you have enough inseam. Um, you have enough inseam here so that it doesn't come apart. So I'm going to add a little stitch to this. And look, my thread. All right, if you find that your thread comes out of your needle a lot, it means that your needle is actually dull. But we're going to work some needles to their point today. Okay. All right. So see, that's your side. Nice and neat. Nice and neat. I'm going to fold this one over. And I'm going to hold my fingers down on the bottom to make sure that the other side doesn't pull up while I stitch it. All right, so there's the first part of my mask. All right, so now let me show you how I make my binding part. So let's see how well I'm going to do this with a camera on here. So I have this gadget. The hardest part is putting the fabric in. So I put the fabric in. I bought it at Walmart. This is the 1 inch. And I'm really needed a smaller one than a 1 inch. But, you know, you get what you get. So I'm using my needle to just kind of pull it out. All right. So see what happens the moment I pull it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull, I'm just kind of straightening it up here. I'm going to pull some of this out and I'm going to press it. And I really want mine to meet in the middle. Like that. So now that I've ironed it, I'll actually do it this way. Now that I've ironed it, kind of backwards for me, but I'm going to pin it to my ironing board. So I have it fixed the way I want it, and then I can just pull. Oh, this is so backwards for me. All right. You know what I should have done was just move the camera to a different spot. So then all I'm doing, I'll still move the camera to a different spot. So what I'm really doing is I'm just does that make sense? I don't know. You can ask me questions. I can see the questions. If you're in the live part. And then I'm just binding. So I was trying to get my kids to help me do this yesterday, but by simply, and you don't need to have one of these. It just takes longer. You fold it in half and you fold the insides and you fold it. But using the binding clip, is better. I was going to order one off Amazon and make do until it got here, but they're not coming until like April. And my people need these now. All right. So, little tool. Nice little tool though, right? Makes it so much easier. I should have prepped a little more so I could have made this faster, but you're stuck in a sew along. I thought my little girl busted her toe and I wanted to take care of that. Okay, and there we go. So now that we have it this way, I'm going to fold it and iron it. So this definitely goes a lot faster. This right here, making these little strips, is the longest part of making a mask. And so I'm just kind of folding it with my finger. Okay. Hey, no playing. All right. So now back to the sewing machine. If I don't trip, because I have everything caught together. All right. Now back to the sewing machine. Where's my scissors? I'm going to come here and trim this end off. Get all my extra threads off. This works out really good for the kids. I'll give the kids the little embroidery scissors and they just trim all my extra threads off at the end. Hopefully you can see. Okay. Now that I have it like this, what I want to do is I'm going to sew off the binding part that's at the very end. And that's just where they fuse the fabric. It will have problems later on. So I just fold it in and then fold it all back. If you feel the need to, you can pin it shut. Orville, I told you to go outside. All right. And you'll do that for the other side. So this is definitely helping me get rid of the stash that I had. I have a lot of masks made, but I don't have the binding made. So what my plan is today is I have 30 face masks done. Oh, these needles. This is how you get hurt when your needles are dull. All right. And so then my method is to come here, find the middle part. And I find the middle. And then I'm gonna do it on this side. I'm gonna put the middle here. Mommy, how do I look? You look very cute. But that goes on the top of your head, not the bottom. And I'm actually unfolding it here to sew it. And what I'll do, I'm gonna use these. What I'll do is I'll actually open it up. I will stitch it across. Hopefully you can see that. I hope you can see that. All right. And then what I'm going to do is make sure you get your bottoms out of the way. I'm going to come here and I'm just going to stitch this part on. Okay, then when I have it that way, I can now come over, fold it over. And then I'll start from this end. All right, since it's a little thicker. All right, so then as you do this, just go back and check to make sure that you caught the fold inside it. So I know, like here on one spot I didn't. Here I didn't, and see that fold would come out. So I'm going to go back and just add the stitch there. My lining got away from me. I'm going to back stitch so it doesn't come undone. Okay. And then I'm going to do that to the other side. Hopefully a lot quicker than I did it. Fold it in half. All right. Sorry, you can't even see what I'm doing here. So places to go and think about asking if you're ready to make these and you don't know where they need them. Talk to your assisted living facilities. They are running out. The other thing too is some of these might need mending afterwards. Just, you know, if it was used polyester thread, they might need some mending as they get sanitized and they kind of fall apart. The threading will get weak. So in the weeks to come, you might need to do mending. Let me go back in. I can sew really fast on my machine, and because of that, I tend to not sew very straight, especially if I don't have my glasses on. Ooh, that's a lot better. All right. again, I'm going to check. All right, so that one's done. All right. All right, so here it is. It's done start to finish. So between the two parts, I think it took me probably 30 minutes. Do not try them on. That's the biggest thing I must tell you. Don't try them on. Resist the urge to make sure they fit. Make one prototype. Try that one. You might feel inclined to wash them or sanitize them or whatever. I'm going to stick mine in Ziploc bags when I'm done and send them that way. And then tell them to wash and sanitize it themselves just to be careful and to make sure. So there you go. I hope that helped. If you have any questions, let me know. This is what I'm doing today.